live.
All right, this is November 5th, Economic Development Committee meeting, monthly meeting of November. We start with the roll call.
Kirk Brown.
Tom Rudliff.
Josh Gilman.
Jerry Schaefer.
Randy Apuzzo.
Mike Agus.
Brian Wagner for the planning department.
All right, good. Okay, we have just one meeting minutes. Must have taken care of the last ones last time.
Before we launch the minutes, Kirk, I'm going to elect you temporary secretary since Anthony's not here.
Sure.
You did a great job last time. Did that work out with sending you the notes?
Yeah, that worked fine.
Okay, great.
I can just cut and paste them right into the thing.
Perfect.
Super.
Thanks for
So, is there a comment or question or motion to accept the October minutes?
I make the motion to accept.
I'll second.
Josh. Discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carries. All right. Any correspondence, public comments?
No, didn't receive anything.
All right, super. Okay, old business, EDC survey, status report and discussion regarding the Innovation Center and the workforce surveys. Randy, do you have the latest and greatest?
So just to cover the workforce survey,
Okay.
it was in Andrew's court to help modify the logic. I built the original one. This is now 2 months in the makings.
Mhm.
I think that we should look at reducing the complexity of it and just get it shipped, because I know Ian's been good with sending it out.
This is the South County.
South County one.
All right.
So that, again, it's approved and Ann's ready to go. Technology-wise, there's a lot of logical decisions. Like if you say yes, then you get the 6 questions. If you say no, you get the 6 questions.
Mhm.
I think reducing it so it's just a straight-up form will make it easier to send, and then we don't have to worry because it's been months now that we've been waiting.
Okay, so it's kind of stalled out.
My suggestion is that we reduce the complexity of the if-then, else-then scenarios, and that way we can get it in and Ann can distribute it.
Okay,
And Ann from
South County.
yeah, South County.
Yeah, good.
The other one, so that the same one that go to SK Health would be the same one that would go to URI. So those are just held up based upon technical. But then there's the economic development. We are the EDC. The Workspace and Innovation Hub survey
Mhm.
that was completed and distributed through the Chamber of Commerce. It was sent in their newsletter like in the first week of the prior month in October, and also sent again on the 14th.
Mhm.
That got, I believe it was 25 respondents. I haven't checked it since I sent the message to you, for Brian to print.
Yep.
We have not distributed that yet on social media. We haven't asked Brian. Brian, you offered the town social media to distribute that. We haven't asked you to do that yet. I think we should, right?
Mhm.
So this is the first preliminary response that only came from the chamber, and I think the chamber has 400 or so people that it went out to. So it was roughly like a 5% response.
How many did they have?
25?
10%.
6%.
5%, 20.
Not a high response,
So
right?
10%.
I think it's
Somewhere a little over 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6, 7.
Just from a commercial standpoint, and Randy or Andrew could probably back it up too, but usually like from a corporate perspective, like 6%, anything like above 3 is
It's good.
a win.
Really?
Yeah, that's in my business too. I mean, even in mine, 2% is a win in the enterprise world.
Yeah, trust me, I would love to get like 75, right?
Well, I was thinking 25.
Also, I've heard that like survey responses are going down year over year, just like trends and demographics, that kind of thing. People are not filling them out anymore.
You get enough every time you go to the doctors. Every time.
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
go
right,
to
right.
People are
the
sick of it.
customer,
Getting a haircut.
buy something. It's really
Yeah.
crazy.
So with that, again, I think distributing on socials, I would expect we would double the amount of response to give us a decent foothold. But with what was here, ran it through, did some numbers, and there's a small executive brief. So full survey responses with names and emails redacted. Brian printed. I never sent the real one. I never sent the unredacted form is in our control.
Sure.
Mhm.
I'm not sure Road. But yeah, this is the redacted form, and you can see the responses are pretty good. This summary just shows that there is definitely demand. Even in a small sample, there's demand for something in this area, right?
Mhm.
And even one of the quotes is saying, like, you know, the places that do exist are way too far for me to drive, so I never make the drive, or I don't commit to them.
That's right.
And the majority of the respondents, over 50%, and even a higher respondent, over 60%, would say they're looking for, you know, small private offices. We're not talking about taking on full leases, like, you know, I'd say like a full lease, 1,500 minimum around here for like a small office, and, you know, upwards to 3,000 to 5,000. So a lot of people are looking for private offices in the $5,000 to $1,000 range. Dedicated desks is pretty high too, in the, you know, the 100 to 250 range, which is kind of like the going rate for like a floating desk in a shared space.
Mhm.
So yeah, there was, you know, I'd say it's one of those things. It's a survey, so if you're going to fill that survey out, you're probably interested in the topic, so you're going to get more positive responses. But the majority of people are all for it.
You also saw, I think it's interesting too, for most of the respondents where it says, you know, your monthly rent max, you know, low or starting rent up to the high, everybody started at that 500.
Yeah.
Well, at least for the people that responded,
Yeah.
which is, I think, kind of interesting that everybody was pretty much in that bucket.
I'm wondering, is there any private entity that would be willing to set that up?
There
You
is
know, at $500 for a small office. I don't know, maybe that's below.
There's right behind on High Street, the where I'm trying to remember.
Oh, the ortho place?
Yeah, right next to that, there's a little spot that somebody's done like 20 or 30 offices, little, and they're like small, but like you could fit a desk and a bookcase in
Next to
there.
the Hearing Gallery, you mean?
Yeah, right behind that. Yeah.
Oh, up on the hill behind
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Do you know the capacity, like I say not capacity, but the occupancy? Do you know if it's full or?
This was like a year ago I saw it because I was looking for space outside the house, and he had like maybe 2 offices left, and there was like maybe 20 or 30 there.
I mean,
Whoa,
if that
how many?
person's doing well there, that could be of interest. I mean, in light of I believe the approval to demo, Wakefield was distributed, right? Brian, that's official now.
So the
They need
town
permits.
council approved, did I
Yeah,
forward that?
yeah,
to
You did,
you guys?
Yes.
you did.
Yeah.
So, the town council authorized them to proceed to look at the financing to do.
Oh, okay. It wasn't like
do
a
school buildings.
full on.
I think you need permits to do that. They're gonna do an environmental study.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Yeah.
that's the expensive cost of demolishing, because you have to do all the pre-surveys for asbestos and lead and all of that kind of stuff, so.
And then disposal, right?
And then taking it down and disposal of the waste too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is authorizes demolish of WS and the one up on
South Road.
South Road.
Yeah.
Both of them.
And I read through his like, and then with the idea of, you know, making it grass for public use for the time being while they figure out what happens. I kind of read a little bit of that. Brian, is that in sync?
Well, if you're gonna take the building down, you have to stabilize the site, so you're gonna have to, at minimum, you know, throw down conservation grass
Yeah,
to prevent erosion, especially over by the river.
Runoff, yeah.
Can't leave a hole in the earth.
Yeah, so,
So
it's a little off the topic, but, did they get any responses that they were gonna send out some kind of requests about, and ask nonprofits, for-profits to make some proposals? Did that ever?
So
pass?
actually, we just had a meeting with the Department of Housing the other day. Back when the town council had told the planning director to issue requests for qualifications to develop the sites. We ran that by the Department of Housing. They told us, no, don't do that yet. You need to develop more information about the development costs, costs of demolition, costs of running utilities and infrastructure into the site, so that the people responding have a better idea of what kind of costs they're being asked to absorb.
Mhm.
But in the meeting on Tuesday, the director said, no, we think you'll be better off if you just go out for a request for qualifications and sign on a partner, and then they can investigate all of those costs for you. So we're back to square one. So I think my understanding, and I think the exact process is still being discussed, but it looks like we're gonna go forward now with the request for qualifications, and try to get somebody in. I think there's an active question about whether we try to go it alone on the demolition as a site preparation, to keep the ball moving forward. Or whether we wait to bring somebody in and see how we might be able to share the cost. The trick that we're trying to balance is that once we pay for demolition, we can't apply for grants to reimburse ourselves for the cost of demolition. It has to be something
Before?
going forward. You have to have the grants before you do the work.
And it's not negative. I mean, we spend tax money towards demolition, we just lose it essentially, right? So if it costs $500,000 to demo it, and we sell the property for $2 million, right?
Well, I
It's
mean,
all net negative.
the buildings are gonna be demoed.
Yeah.
Whether you're talking about parks or housing, the buildings are going to go away. They are a liability right now. They're having real issues with security in Wakefield.
Yeah.
So they need to get rid of the buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do it one way or another, I'm not sure the expense.
Waiting is worth it.
And, I
Because he's
mean,
waiting on South Road for how many years?
and if
Yeah.
they go off into
20.
development, you've increased the value of the property
Yeah.
by getting rid of the expense of
Sure.
getting
Demo.
rid of the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, a developer would have to do the infrastructure anyways if
Yeah.
it was raw land, so.
Okay, cool.
But
All
do you
right.
guys mind, can we lower the fan? It's drying my eyes out.
I don't know where the switch is.
No,
Yeah, I
Oh,
feel
here.
the same way.
I
You just
got
try it.
dry eyes.
You know what it
It's
is.
gonna get dark.
maybe. Is it, okay.
Oh, I think that one cut it.
The
Yeah,
first
they're
one?
dead,
Go
they're
off.
dead, they're dead.
No, turn that one back on, Tom.
Okay, sorry.
There you go. I think
Middle
they're
one?
off.
Yeah, the middle one I
okay,
think
they're
turned
dead.
on.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, we're good.
Thanks, man.
Alright, so let's segue back to the conversation.
Yes.
So, do you know the individual that owns that property?
I don't, but I can find out.
Okay. I think between that individual and there's his name's Eric, I don't know his last name, but he owns Whalers and that whole entire property. He was a startup founder for like video games tech.
Mhm.
And he ended up buying out Whalers and owns that whole entire what do they call it, old mill?
It's like Pack or something.
Peacedale, the Peacedale
Palisade
Mill that
Mill.
runs through Palisades.
That's the Palisade Mill.
Yeah, so Eric owns that. I mean, I don't know if you'd have an appetite for it, but if there's a bit like this proves a business model for it essentially.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
Right.
And that's what the last one had done. So there's collective data. We collect more data. I mean, I think it's needed. The remote tracking, it's like part of the industry report. Attracting remote workers. Remote workers can make 150 to 250,000 a year.
Mhm.
Bringing in that people who are in the economy year round is a big deal. So,
Yeah.
anyways, this is what's showing that, and whether that's at the Wakefield place or somewhere else, right? I think there's demand for something like that to help
Ken-
support the community here.
Ken said he has two places too, because I think you have to have commercial in Main Street where he lives.
Yeah.
And so he's got a couple of offices there. There's one being advertised out on Mooresfield Road, I guess is what it's called out there. You go past the Farmer's Daughter,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and there's a landscaping place there, or the big sign on the road saying we got an office for rent?
Yeah,
I've seen that.
yeah.
Nice thing about having them clustered is the collaboration potential.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's maybe why he's having a tough time, because the sign's been up for a year.
Well, and it's not the office space that I think you and I would want.
Right, right. Yeah. Okay, so actions out of this are.
Let's push for more data, I think.
Yeah, we're gonna get that posted, Brian, that's.
We haven't made a request to Brian yet, so
Yeah.
I think we can make a request to Brian to post it on the town.
Okay.
And then we can go to the, other town sites, it's not the neighborhood app, I forget the name of the app, it's R something,
Our town.
Our Town. Yeah, that one, and then, there's, standard Facebook and X.
Is there any, just as an outside chance, is there any incentive that wouldn't cost us money, like that somebody might be able to throw in and donate, that would get a higher level of responses?
Oh.
I'm talking about,
incentives.
minor,
Yes,
almost
yeah,
trivial,
we
but
talked
something
about
like,
that, yeah.
that would just push people over the
Yeah,
edge.
like gift cards or something.
So, I mean, if somebody were to donate them, I don't mean coming out of here,
Yeah.
like the
It's
chamber,
something that
maybe?
I think with the hospital and URI, it's more prevalent, but Ann said that sometimes they get 5 to 10% response, which is pretty high from
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
from the business corporate enterprise side.
All right,
So if we don't get enough data, I think we look into
Gotcha.
re-pinging it. But yeah, I'm with you. If we don't get enough data to help fulfill the purpose of it, to like, it's 25 responses, I wouldn't say that's enough to merit like.
right.
It's telling, it's leading. I mean, like even when they do political polls, they poll 100 people and they use that as like, hey, it's leaning this way or leaning that way, right?
Right.
So it's kind of like this. I think 100 is a good number, right?
Mm-hmm.
The hospital and URI, I think we'll easily get 100.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Because they're gonna send to 1,400. This is sent to 400 people, right? So you take the math.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should get there, and if we don't get to the point where it is, I think then resending it with incentive would be the move we'd make.
Okay.
So yeah, so then actionable from here is make a request to the planning.
Do you need an email or something to do that, or?
I need you to send me whatever it is
I'll
that.
send you the summary. I built a summary and sent it to the chamber. I'll send you the same exact one
Okay.
and share.
Okay, good.
So
Thank you,
Randy
Brian.
to send a summary to Brian for.
And I'll find the contact info for the guy over there.
Yeah, and Eric, Ken actually introduced me to him when we were at Oktoberfest or something. So we should make contact with him too. And what will we tell him? Share these preliminary results
With Ken.
with Ken, with Eric?
Yeah, Ken would be an interesting person in the room because I don't know the size of his properties. I know he said he has commercial property,
Yeah.
but if it's like 1,000 square feet or 500, if he's willing to split it up, I'm not sure what
Yeah.
his appetite is there. But
All right,
he would definitely would be an interesting voice in the room.
excellent. All
I
right.
know he says he struggles to rent the whole place. I know he said that in the past, right? in his
Right.
meetings.
Yes, that's right.
But we're talking like one person desk or private offices. It's very different than, if you're a remote worker, you're not gonna flip $2,000 a month for a business
Yeah.
office, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
So, some of the remote workers get it as a write-off too through the business, they'll
Mm.
offer it.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Josh, the person involved with the mill, is that Scott Holper? Cause he's the name that comes up associated with the corporation.
Yeah, I feel like that's the, yeah,
Okay.
I feel like that is. I can verify.
You know, Mike, South Kingston office park, where I am, there's a lot of vacancies.
Where is that again?
Right next to the on the hospital, where the new parking lot's going.
How
The-
big are
The
the
Salt
Yeah.
Pond
Right.
office.
It's Salt Pond?
Yeah,
Yeah, Salt Pond, yeah, yeah.
That's where my office is. There's at least 3 on our level that are empty at the moment.
You're talking about where the dentist is over
Yep.
there?
Yeah,
Yes,
there's
there's
So
that.
they're
doctors,
larger
yeah.
offices, so you're talking how many square feet? 2,000?
No, not that big. Maybe 300, 200, but there's multiple ones.
Mhm.
But I don't know what's in other buildings, so there's other buildings that, like you say, Scott Hallberg, his sister Lisa, she has a pretty big loft in one of the other buildings. She's always looking to rent.
Do you know the, you don't know any of the costs, or do you know any of the costs? No, it's kind of like a on the whim question.
Not, the cost for the individual offices, you could probably put, 2, 3 people, or 2 people at least in one of them. They're, enough for 2 desks, but the rental prices are around $500 a month.
So right in line with,
Yeah.
or close to in line with
500
the
a
survey.
month for 500 square feet.
It's not
But-
down, no.
But I mean, 2 people for 500 would be 250 a month.
Yeah.
But the 500 was the lower end of the range, too.
But it might only be 150 or 200 square feet.
Yeah.
Right. And not privacy if you're sharing it.
Shared too.
So that'd be.
But there's, like in that particular case on our floor, there's 3 empty, units.
And are those like the
And they're
300?
connected. One actually is connected, so it would probably be something like 250 square feet for 2. And that's owned by Chris Tanner from Remax.
So,
And it's convenient because it's in an office park.
what do you think is a good thing to do? To put together a report?
Yeah, I
and
think
talk to,
so.
and then
I
send it
think-
to these
yeah,
folks and see what they.
It sounds fragmented. I do think that when people are shared office, they get this environment where you get to collaborate and it's an open space. Whereas if you're in you go to a place and go into a door and close your door and you don't talk to anybody. I think there's a different, you don't get much from there, but privacy, you get privacy. I do think like remote workers are looking for the social aspect that they've lost from leaving the office. I think that's part of it. We didn't ask that. That would have been a great question. Do you miss the social aspect of going to office?
Well, and but some of these have in here is the meeting rooms by the hour type of thing, which to me is like the social thing. Like I need to bring 3 or 4 people together or a group like this together to meet.
No.
Yeah, we have my technical office in San Diego, and we pay $1,000 a month for a room and a place in San Diego on one of the high rises, and we can go back and forth there, and that's kind of like our hub when we all meet. I'm going there next week.
For 6 months.
I'm going next week for a week, and then going back for a couple months after Christmas. But like it's an environment where you walk around, you're running into people, and people have other businesses, and you talk to them, and you have coffee, and you're chatting, and it sparks innovation, and sometimes you build business connections that you would have never otherwise, right?
Yep.
Build trust, and like this guy knows that guy, this girl knows this girl, and things happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's a group that I was just with owns a bunch of buildings called Regis. They have the same thing, and they've got these meeting rooms in the middle you can reserve. They've got like beer taps and like whatever.
Yeah.
But then like if our group we could rent like a room and it's like a glass door, or even and rent meaning it's yours. You can put
Couple
whatever
hours.
but you could rent it for the entire year if you wanted to. But then you still have that collaboration space that you can rent by the hour if you wanted to bring customers in and have a boardroom table or whiteboards or whatever it might be.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what people expect, like a private office where it's like, okay, bring your desk in and you close
Yep,
out.
shut the door, but then also have a bigger.
So that's my assumption in this survey. We should have asked that. I think
Yep.
that would have been a good qualifier in retrospect. But my assumption is that when people think shared space, that's what's in their mind.
Yep.
So that's why it probably is harder to like sell just a box with a door, right? It's a different vibe. But talking about these so what I'm hearing though is interesting is there's fragmented commercial space that is unleased, right? In smaller quantities, unleased, fragmented, and different owners, right? So this is something that I think a report and sharing that with those owners is good, right? 'Cause maybe that they can look at their commercial space and modify it to work with.
And maybe collaborate with each other too.
Right.
So you could.
So it
That's
shows there
legal, but-
are remote people, and this was sent to the chamber. The chamber is mostly entrepreneurs, right? So it just shows even the response there. So we'll see when we get to social. We'll see what the general public responds to it. I think that's really important, and then not just through the town channel. I think we should share it. Like if you guys are comfortable sharing it on your social media, sharing like, hey, when town of South Kingstown. We're doing a survey to learn about remote workers and their interest, and just share it on your social. If you can share it with your friends and family and on your social, because what we want to hear from is the people that don't have a voice and aren't reached, right? We're reaching the Chamber of Commerce, which is, they're reached a lot, right? They're business people, generally, right? Anyway, so that's my thought. We get it through the social, through the planning, through Brian, through the town.
And we have the
share it
link.
on the town, and then we can share personally and help just spread it out.
We have the link for this?
We do have a link, yeah, and I'll get the link. And Brian, should I, again, when I send that to you, I'll send you the link, and then maybe you disseminate it back out, so I don't copy everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to add those questions on the social aspect of it?
They're not approved, so I don't think we can.
I mean-
Because this was approved by a town committee,
Okay.
or town council,
By,
excuse me, not committee, town council.
Was it the council that approved it, or? Jim, the council did, okay.
Yeah, so I don't, let's just send what
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have.
absolutely.
Under the presumption that when people hear a shared space, it's as we speak to it. I'm gonna conclude that there, and let's move forward.
Absolutely, thank you. All right, Old Tower Hill Neighborhood Plan. So, where are we, Brian, with the, finding some pilot property owners that might participate in the?
I have not heard anything from the planning director. I'm not aware that anybody's on board with
Yeah.
that aspect
Mm-hmm,
as of yet.
okay, I'm wondering
But
if we
first,
can.
first the ordinance would need to be approved, right?
Right,
Yeah.
which, I think the hope is that at the next planning board meeting, they will vote on, recommendation to the town council and
Right.
send them along to the council. The decision was made
Mm.
that rather than have the planning board edit the ordinance that's being proposed, that they're simply going to prepare a letter listing its recommendations for changes, and then sending the original ordinance that we had prepared for us by Jason King, along with the letter to the council, so that they see the original and see the recommendations, and then they can make final decisions.
In that proposal, the original one, do you remember what they specified for the grandfather level? You know,
I don't believe it's specified in there.
no, okay.
Yeah, that and the,
That's one of the trip
threshold,
points, right?
threshold and mandatory versus,
Yeah, right.
Well,
voluntary.
it's all one and the same, right? So you set the threshold to
Sure.
determine where it becomes mandatory.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, that, absolutely, it's a critical question.
Right. And the video, where are we with that?
You guys need to discuss and determine whether or not that's something you wanna push out.
Okay,
Moving on to the video.
yeah.
So my comment is, I thought it was a great vehicle for you to share your opinion. I thought it was well put together.
Mm-hmm.
And even the original one, no problem with it. Say being public, I think that it shares the point, it gets the point across. Was your intent to have that shared, or just have the video shared amongst us?
So the original was a draft, okay, it was a rough draft. I was just trying to kind of play out our conclusions, because Tom and I had the action item to go figure out what the finances were so we could explain it to the property owners. Okay, after we kind of figured it, we couldn't quite get, we had a couple questions, a couple dangling things. So I called the commercial real estate agent, and I asked her, what is this cap rate and how does it set, what does it mean? And she explained to me that it's just a table and it's assigned per the quality of the property, and basically, the answer is that the more operating income you can get off of a piece of property, the higher the value of the property, obviously, because it's generating that income. You'll pay more for something that generates more income rather than less, and that's the whole shebango. And it's, as far as the impact to the town is concerned, it's purely a matter of increased property values, increased commercial property tax, which goes into the coffers of the town and is good for everybody, except the people who are paying more taxes, but they're making more money. So that's essentially what he was saying. In there, they said that basically there's a $1 million there's a 33,000 square foot, 3/4 acre lot. They put in the current zoning, you put 10,000 square foot, 1-story building on it. You could rent that out, you get $100,000 a year for that, okay? If you built a 60,000 square foot building, 20,000 on the ground, which is what's allowed, right? And 3 stories high, you could rent out commercial and residential, and you could generate in excess of $1.2 million or something along those lines, which I think that's the total, which has that property being worth $30 million instead of $1 million. Okay, today, 100,000. Yes. So, is that hard to believe? Are the assumptions radically different? Go ahead, change it. Cut it in half. We're only gonna get 15 million for a property that used to be worth $1 million. That's 15 times the property tax that you used to get. So, you know, it's kind of a moot point. This doesn't really rests on what does the town want, right? And I think there's an overwhelming desire in this town to have this. So that's
Except for the property owners there, right?
well, the current property owners, they benefit, okay, because even if they decide not to do this,
right.
if somebody next door does it, now they got residents that are walking
exactly.
to their store. So
Exactly.
and that property's higher. There is a comp model in commercial
but
real estate too, so your
they're
property
opposing
value is
this,
gonna go up
though.
too.
Most of them are opposing this, though.
Yes.
I would be careful, I wouldn't say most of them. We have a couple of property owners that have expressed opposition.
Mhm.
As in
However,
Yeah, okay.
they have gone to talk to other property owners to try and influence them. Those property owners have called the planning director, and when the planning director explains what the project is, they leave and say, oh, well, that's not what I understood. That would actually
exactly.
be very good for me.
Yeah, yeah, I expect that too.
So there is mixed opinion.
I think it's mixed
We
opinion.
don't know exactly where everyone stands, just.
Yeah.
And it might, part of that mixed opinion might be based on a misunderstanding.
Right. Certainly.
Or not the right information.
Right.
Yeah. I did find out that the 2018 thing, those property owners that you surveyed wanted to change it, but all they wanted to do was change the current code. They didn't want to invent a new code. It's,
Well,
you know,
I mean,
2
that-
stories, 3 stories, you know.
Yeah.
That wasn't presented to them as an option. You know, basically, we walked in and said, comment on how you feel about operating a property on Old Tower Hill Road in that area, the commercial highway district. And there was just no discussion. We didn't put on the table, hey, we could do an ordinance where we'd make this 3 stories high, double your density, blah, blah, blah. It was just more feedback from them, but they definitely wanted increased density. But we weren't specific as to the proposal, now the zoning ordinance,
Yeah.
you know, which would double it. You know, so they did want
Yeah.
changes, but we didn't discuss anything like this form-based code
Right.
specifically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which the form of the FPC is set, so if you give somebody a 3-story thing, they just don't go build an atrocity, they build it within the means.
Yeah,
of the
right,
code.
exactly, yeah, right.
And remember, even if we approve areas for 3.5 stories, it's still up to the property owner how much of that to take advantage of.
Right, exactly.
They could only build 2 if they chose to.
Right, that's right.
So,
And-
so circling back, I think
Yeah.
the video is a good medium. So the second video you sent when I clicked it was private and I couldn't see it. So I watched the first video.
Okay.
And that, I don't know if that was after Brian's response, if you took it offline.
No,
But I never saw the second video. I saw the
I
first
never
one.
got, I didn't post the second video correctly. It's the first time I put something on YouTube. So,
Okay.
so I figured that out. It's public now.
Okay.
I can send that out again.
Well, however,
Or we
Brian,
can
what's
watch it
the-
right now
what's
if
the
you
rule
want
on
to. I mean, do you have a
Well,
computer
let me, yeah, you know, I meant to have a
projector?
screen rolled in here tonight, and I just completely forgot about it. I can certainly call it up from Mike's email.
yeah, I have a 60-inch
Yeah.
screen here. I can throw it on there if you want to just throw it up.
While you're doing that, so who is the intended audience for that, the target? Is it just the average SK citizen?
Citizen and property owners
Yeah.
and
Yeah, okay.
business owners.
Okay.
You know, it's all the above.
Yeah.
Just
Because the citizens need to be engaged, right? That, hey,
Right.
there's a change.
For sure. Right.
And I'll just say, I wrote the letter, it was published in the Narragansett Times. I did that about 2 years ago with the snow plowing issue, that got about 1,000 lightning strikes. I was roasted on social media for about a year and a half. This thing, not a peep. So, in retrospect, I did look at the AI version. It didn't cover the details I did. Mine were more technical in terms of spelling out the specifics. But, I failed in retrospect. I realized I should have given them some idea of what this would look like. And in retrospect, I would have said, think in terms of South County Commons, if you just want some rough idea. Because when I talked about a form-based code, I think a lot of people just flip to something else. Like, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. So, I think in your video, I don't know if that video is something that is going to be redone or if it's going to launch the way it is, fine. But I think having a visual in there, which is already made, it's just cutting and pasting it in there, to just show people who look at it what this would look like. And there are renditions that are very attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Because
possibility.
otherwise it sounds theoretical. To the average person, you're
Yeah, I put some
doing this
eye
with
candy in
density.
there. Is it up there?
I got it loaded up here, so I have my screen here, and we can put it on. This is a decent sized screen.
Yeah, I looked at it, but we're all gonna
All
go
right.
around.
Come on down.
Or I can put it up there, and we can just sit where we are.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Let's just do that. Stay where you are.
I got you.
Stay where you are.
We're not standing for this? Okay. Hello, everybody.
Just put it up kind of close to the
About the
speaker.
old Tower Hill Road neighborhood plan.
Here, this?
Yeah.
Specifically, we're going to.
Yeah, he's got some visuals, he's got some slides.
Impact of implementing revised zoning in the area of Tower Hill Road, starting up at Route 1 at the top of the hill, down past Kingstown Road, just a bit, and then on Kingstown Road from the bowling alley down to maybe the post office. Roughly, that's the area. My name is Mike Gagas. I'm the chair of the Economic Development Committee here in South Kingstown, and I include my email address here because there's a few handouts that I referred to that you're entitled to see. And if you'd like to get a hold of those and having trouble getting them off the town website, just drop me a line and we'll get it over to you. So today's agenda, we're going to talk about the financial model that was built as part of the report in chapter 6 here. Tom Rudliff and I from the Economic Development Committee reviewed this chapter in detail. This is where the model is that calculates the current property value and the proposed property value based on the profits and loss statements that can be generated. I also talked to Terry Degnan. She's a real estate broker and consultant on commercial real estate over in Newport. What this model is a comparison of as is and to be scenarios. What would the property value be on a given piece of property under the current scenarios, and what would it be if we were to revise the zoning and someone were actually to build a property, develop a property according to the new zone. This model has assumptions and inputs. There are some calculations that we'll go over, and then when we're finally done with that, we will go over the benefits to constituencies. What are the benefits to investors and developers, property owners, landowners, and also to the residents of the town? Spoiler alert, the property value is going to be
can we pause that
astronomically
for a second?
more.
Okay, just the to-be commercial,
Yes.
again, I'm putting myself in the position of somebody who doesn't know what you're talking about, who's trying to get, you know, if it's not clear to me, I know what you're talking about, but it's not clear to me to be commercial. It's if this ordinance is approved, that's,
Yes.
right? That's,
Right.
so in other words, if I'm the average person, you're trying to sell me on this idea, basically. So if I saw, you know, pending approval or as proposed, I would be thinking, okay, I see there, I like that, I'm gonna support that. To be commercial doesn't seem to say that, so that, I just, this is one of my
Before that,
comments.
I mentioned there's
You
two,
do.
there's an as is and there's a to be.
You
here,
do.
and, you know, so.
Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah, I got a
you.
note. I got a note for that. Let's.
Okay.
yeah, okay.
Keep going.
The only other thing I would do is on here, just to keep it consistent, is to put that slash with the year.
Per
Yeah.
year.
Oh, yep, right.
Than it will be under the current zoning scenario. That's the reason why people want to do this, okay? So, here's the findings. On the as-is side, taking a 3/4 acre, 33,000 square foot, about 3/4 of an acre of commercial property in this zone that we're talking about, and the as-is zoning allows you to build on 30% of the property only. You can build 1-story high. So if we took a 33,000 square foot, 3/4 acre piece of property, and we, you know, we built a commercial, we had a commercial property on it, 1-story high, we'd have 10,000 square foot under the current zoning. It turns out that, you know, buildings that are of the quality and the age and so forth, and provide the kind of shopping experience that our properties provide here in the current scenario, that you can get about $18 a square foot per year, and you get about $8 of expenses there. So you net about $10 a square foot. You got 10,000 square foot. You're going to enter with vacancy of 5%, $91,000 a year, almost $100,000 a year for that property. And by the way, the net operating income is a determinant, the single determinant of property values. Obviously, the more rent you can get off a piece of property, the more valuable the property is going to be. So under the new scenario, 60% of the lot can be covered. You can build 3 stories high. So in this example, they use a 20,000 square foot building. It's got 25,000 feet of commercial space. That means 5,000 is upstairs.
Can
And they're going to
we
put some
again, I won't,
residential
just
real
two
estate on
pauses,
top of it.
okay, so. When we reviewed this, I think that's an error, right? That we identified that as an error. Because in what the consultant provided, the commercial space is the first floor, and the footprint is 20,000 square feet, not 25,000. Now, you could say, look, maybe that is a detail. As you said before, it's not gonna substantially change the numbers.
It won't. I toyed with the idea,
No,
okay, of changing that and saying it's
Okay.
20,000 square feet
Okay.
commercial, which is a pinch of shit. It would
Yeah,
mean
yeah,
nothing
no, right, I
to
agree.
the conversation, but I just let it go and said that he must put 5,000, maybe he's got an up and down stair store, you know. and-
All right. I thought it was
It
overlooked.
still adds up
yeah,
to 60,000 square feet. Okay, it's 20,000 square feet, 3 stories high, 60,000 square feet.
right. But his numbers are based on that additional 5,000 square feet.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, but
So-
okay. I mean,
Yeah.
let's just say it's a
Could-
detail.
Could have, it
All right,
really is.
fair enough.
Could have changed it.
All right.
That same footprint, and, you know, with the 3 stories high, this is what they're gonna get. On a commercial side, 25,000 square feet of rental at a net of $27 a square foot times the 25,000, $636,000 a year. So the property values are gonna be like 7 times as much as they are for one property versus the other, just based on the commercial net operating income that they can gain. Okay, but of course, in the 2B scenario, there's no residential. Okay, the as-is scenario, there's no residential. In the 2B scenario, there is residential. So they assume that they put 50 units at 700 square feet. That's 35,000 square feet added to the 25,000 commercial, 60,000. That's 3 stories, 20,000 feet per story. That it all adds up. They're getting 60% of the footprint, and they're getting commercial and residential rent out of this. Okay, at $2,100 a month for 50 units, that's 25 grand a year. If it's 100 units, it'd be 2.5 million, so it's about 1.26 million is what the rent would be. There are vacancy rates and there are expenses. Netting out that 126 with $413,000 of expenses, you're going to net 850,000. Okay, on top of that, you got 600,000 from before, so you're going to end up with about 1.4 million in net in rent, net operating income versus $100,000 on the current scenario. So you can see how the property values are going to go crazy. Okay, so how do we calculate the property value? Turns out there's a formula. It's called a capitalization rate, and the capitalization rate equals the net income of the property divided by the current market value of the property. So cap rate equals NOI divided by CMD, excuse me. So we can use our algebra and switch that formula around so we can calculate the current market value of the property based on the net operating income, which we just calculated, and a capitalization rate, which we can look up. Okay, and they have a table of these things depending on the size, the quality of the property, and so forth. There's different cap rates. Okay. The good thing there is, we can use that flipped around formula on the as-is side. The cap rate is 0.099%. Okay, so they expect that the property value will be equal to 91,000 divided by the 9%, or about $1 million. Okay. On the 2B side, the cap rate is about 5%. You're getting $1.48 million a year at a 5% cap rate. You divide that, it's 20 times that, right? So it's 30 million. It's $30 million. What a tremendous increase in property value. Now, what does that do for us? Well, here are the benefits. Okay? Somebody who's investing in these properties is going to make a great return on investment. Their property values are going to skyrocket from what they paid for the property versus what they put into it. It's going to increase the property value astronomically. The downside is that they're going to pay more taxes. Commercial property owners that are making a lot of
That one there, it echoed that you said the downside is they're gonna pay more taxes. The property the commercial property owners are gonna pay more taxes. Again, putting myself in the uninformed general citizen, I think, holy crap, the last thing we wanna do is increase people's taxes. Yes, they're gonna pay more because their property is gonna generate more income. So, you're making more money, you're paying more taxes, that's a good thing. But just that statement, the property taxes are gonna go up, the commercial people are gonna pay more. I just thought that one could be something that people remember and think, I don't think we want that.
What would be
Maybe I'm nitpicking, but you said comments and that was my
I
comment.
think it'd be flipped around. It's like their property value goes up and there's more tax income for the town.
Yeah, and that's positive,
Right.
but just the way that sounded, it sounded like, whoa, the property taxes are gonna go up with this thing. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, if they're making more money, they're paying more taxes.
Can we replay it? Let's
Yeah.
replay it. I think I said that.
money are going to pay more taxes than the people who are paying on a residence. Okay? This is a good thing for people in the town. Okay, developers and property owners aren't going to have too much of a problem with it because they're making scads of money. Okay, so now let's take a look at the property owners, the current property owners. I call them status quo because there are many of them who've reviewed this proposal and they would like to keep it as it is, but actually with a twist. Okay, they're going to get higher property values. They're going to get business growth. Even if somebody next door to them decides to put in a mixed use 3-story building with residents there, well, right next door, you're going to get the benefit of having all those residents live nearby and be able to walk to your store, et cetera, et cetera. So you're going to get the benefits. In 2018, the EDC interviewed the current property owners, most of whom are still around, okay? And they asked for more density, greater height, and mixed use. Okay? The only thing we're disagreeing about here is how the town went about determining the zoning proposal in this area. Okay? up to the property owners. We wouldn't have hired a consultant and spent all that money. What we would have done is we'd just gone into the current zoning and gone, 3 stories, 60%. Residential too, okay, and we'd have been done. Now, I'm no urban planner, I have read a few books on the subject, but nonetheless, I don't think that's kosher. I don't think that's copacetic. Zoning needs to hang together so that everything works. Traffic works with pollution, which works with, you know, the value, etc. All that has to be balanced out. And the property owners are saying now, even though they have all the things that they asked for, they have less rights. And in essence, they do have less rights because they can't perpetuate what they have now. If we change the zoning, it's because we want development to occur according to the new zoning, not the old zoning. So if you're a property owner and you want to continue to modify your buildings, change your buildings, add to your buildings, you have to do it according to the new code. You can't, you know, so from that respect, if you want to perpetuate what everybody else doesn't want, you know, you can't, okay? And then that's the way it works. So everybody else, what everybody else wants, what we residents and taxpayers would like is a better quality of life. I'd love to be able to go down to my shopping area, maybe take my bike, bring my family, you know, go shopping for back to school, stop at a cafe, have a meet with the neighbors, and you know, enjoy myself and have just a nicer quality of life living in a more prosperous town. The town itself will get more funding for the services that taxpayers like infrastructure, parks, public safety, safe streets, schools, walking trails, bike paths, all these things that people want. Basically, the commercial property owner is going to pay for, okay? And our taxes are going to stay relatively stable. If you think that we're going to continue to be able to deliver the same exact services for the same exact price in the future, you're sadly mistaken. Taxes will go up if you want to continue to get what you're getting, unless we get some friends who own commercial property, are making a pile of money, and are contributing more than their fair share of the expenses of the town. Okay, so in summary, it's really all about the facts. We're just trying to inform everybody about what is possible and what could be the benefits and what could be the results of changing this zoning. All right, we believe that the citizens of this town want a vibrant town that's going to grow and prosper, be more diverse, younger, and even well-positioned for the future. In my opinion, the town council should enact the Tower Hill Road neighborhood zoning. It's almost complete. There's going to be a series of public hearings urging all citizens, property owners, everyone to go and let yourself be heard as to whether or not you're in favor of this or not, and so that we can all agree on a way to go forward. Given all that, that just accomplishes absolutely nothing, okay? All that we've done is change the zoning, okay? But when 1 or 2 property owners or investors come along and they're willing to invest and take the risk, then all of a sudden we realize our vision, our shared vision, and everything goes great after that. So thanks for listening. Hope you can participate in this. You can get this report, and there is a nice Cliff Notes summary version on a trifold that you can look at to learn more about this, but we urge you to support this proposal and let your voice be heard, regardless of what side of the fence you're on. Thank you and have a great day.
Okay, go
Before we
ahead.
comment, I want to commend Mike.
October 20th, already, 5:30.
Also commend Rick, thanks for whatever that YouTube thing.
Indiana Area School District.
Yeah. All right, so first of all, I want to commend Mike. I think that's an awesome delivery. I know it was a lot of effort. You recorded yourself, you put it on YouTube, you made the slide deck. Like,
Right.
that is awesome.
Yeah,
I think like
spot on.
It's really cool. That said, I know that people are gonna have feedback, so I don't want to like overshadow the amount of effort, Mike. And I don't know how many takes you did of that. Was that one shot?
Three takes.
So like it takes so let's just like put this into perspective. That took Mike hours of his time,
Right.
Mhm.
right? Of
Agreed.
prep and putting it together and getting himself out there. So yes, we're all gonna comment and you're gonna get critiqued.
It's okay.
That's what happens if you throw
It's
yourself
okay.
out there, right? So I just wanna just commend Mike on like that was awesome.
Totally agree.
Yeah, my only comment was just that year. per year thing. Yeah, everything else I think was clear and articulated. I guess that's your side of it. The only other question I would have is, what's the opposition? What are their bullet points?
As far as,
Well, somebody's gonna watch this and go, "Hey, this is great. Why wouldn't I?
what are they
Why
gonna-
wouldn't I do this as a citizen or as a property owner potentially?" I'm just thinking about the people that are gonna say, "Oh no, Mike, you totally missed this piece of it, and you're drowning us in taxes," or I don't know. That's what my question is.
I don't know.
And not that we have to address it, right? But I think it's that who's gonna view it and then have a response.
So the opposition we've heard is like, we don't want to turn our town into whatever, commercial district X or Y. Like, people want to keep the town, keep it small town, keep the trailer parks in Matunic,
Yeah.
Like, there's opposition from that, where they're afraid of it becoming like, there's an example.
Bunch of chain store,
Yeah.
the chain store things.
Like the Hamptons.
Yeah.
I think the
Right.
Hamptons was like, oh, we don't want to become the Hamptons.
Got it.
Right. That was kind of the only opposition we heard, and that it becomes the Hamptons, it's going to be even more expensive for people to even come in. Home prices are high, etc. So rising tide lifts all boats. That was one opposition that we heard actually at one of the public meetings. I heard a couple people speak towards. Was it Jamie? James King. That's
Jason.
Jason. Sorry,
Jason
Jason.
King.
Jay,
Jason
sorry.
King, yeah.
Jamie Rabbit. Jason King. Jamie Rabbit did
Oh.
not speak to it, but Jason King spoke to it, and a couple people publicly spoke in opposition. That was the general sentiment.
Yeah.
The commercial opposition is just like, we don't have control. You're forcing us to do this. If I want to update this, and if they build high, people won't be able to see my building from the street. It's more like a fair-based opposition, right? Those were the oppositions that we had heard. I don't know if there are others, but just
No.
to catch them up to speed.
I haven't heard
Back
any.
to your question, Josh. You were wondering what
It's
people
clear, yeah.
what objections they had to it.
I mean, I think about like South County Commons. That was like the comment earlier. If you want to see what like this could look like, and I'm like, if you come off of that road, off of one, and you see that, to me, it'd be like,
It's awesome.
It's in the sense of the establishment is at the sidewalk, you don't have the parking lot.
of course, yeah.
So it's probably the closest analogy to what this thing would look like, although it'd be higher and more grandiose, I think. But for somebody who doesn't know what the hell this is, and I realized that after I submitted my letter, I said, I should have had one line in there to say, think of, or if you don't know what the form-based code would give you, think of something like South County Commons, but on a larger scale. Just so somebody can say, I hate it, okay, now I know, or hey, I like it. I didn't do that. And that was one of the punchlines I should have put in there.
I mean, it's a great retrospect. Like, it's a great, having an analogy like that's really strong. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, it's not visual. I put myself in the other guy's view, and the way I wrote it up, I had all the stuff about the density, but for most people, it's what the hell is that? Why should I even care about that?
And I think, just the places I've been limited in Rhode Island that have a 3-story kind of South County Commons that we could have. NK, I'm thinking driving through there, I don't think of any buildings over there that would look like that. Just from a unique, here's what, our town could provide that would be unique to any other.
It's got little park spaces too, it's not just,
Yeah, it's not too, huge like a Garden City that you're.
yeah, right.
And I do think it was based on downtown Wakefield. Like, there is a stretch of buildings in there that's like 2-3 story, where it's restaurants or shops on the first floor and then
Right.
other stuff on top.
Going around, but that was kind of what they asked for.
Yeah.
Make it look like Main Street. We want it to look like Main Street.
Exactly. So it's sort of like you're just taking Main Street and you're like, copying, pasting it all the way up that road.
Yeah.
And to the sides.
Yeah. On just, was it Kingstown Road there?
So my comment on it is, you have mixed messages. You speak to residents.
Mm-hmm.
You speak to us, the EDC,
Mhm.
and then you speak to the commercial owners.
Mm-hmm.
When you change the audience like that, it gets confusing, because at first I'm like, oh, this would be good for commercial people to hear. Then you talk about, then you kind of change your tone on their side. Like, look at where you're going to get from them. Like, these guys are going to fund your parks and fund this. So the sentiment of it can be perceived as negative. You're like, oh, well, this
Mhm.
guy's gonna, just trying to get more money out of me. So my comment on that is, one, if this is public, I think it's totally fine. But how it could be better would be focused on just facts. You save your opinion or your angle, and you say these are the facts for property owners. Here are the facts for residents. With more commercial, there's going to be more income for the town. More income for the town, it could lead to more parks or public space.
It's the benefit.
Yeah, the benefit. Yeah, that's my only comment, Mike. And this is an easy thing to do, man.
No, it's
and
tough.
even me saying that's not easy. You plan
Well,
that out. So
That's
that's the audience. If there was a 5-minute one for the commercial people and 5-minute for the town residents, because it was a 12-minute video, right?
Yeah.
I think that would do great justice. Like, from a residential perspective, this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna get buildings like South County Commons. There's possibility for new commercial expansion, new residential, and more income for the town. From a commercial standpoint, you could 3 to 10x the value of your property.
Yeah.
Right, because that's what I saw. And that seems like, that jump
Yeah.
from 1 million to 30 seems, I run businesses, like,
Yeah,
it seems a little
that's,
hyperbole, right?
Mhm.
But even to your point, if it was cut in half or
right,
a quarter,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's still really attractive.
Yeah. So
And you are increasing the size of the building by like 6 times.
yeah,
Right.
The square, there's things like, oh, you get $8 square foot, you're gonna get 15 square foot when it's beautiful. I don't know about that. Anyways, but that's part of the model. So the point being is, be like, I am sharing the facts of a model that was developed by X, Y, and Z.
Mhm.
Right? So that way it's not your opinion, and there's a disclaimer, because there's no disclaimer up front.
Well,
Right.
Mike did hold up the.
Yeah,
report.
you did. You
Yeah,
did.
it's based on the
It's based
report.
on the report, but I think a disclaimer up front, like, I am sharing a summary of this report that was given to you.
Yeah.
Right? These are not, and as a disclaimer, this report is from this person. I am barely sharing what we've learned from it, the facts, and what the possible outcome could be, using things like that. So that's a lot to unpack, Mike, that I just
No,
laid on you, but.
I think,
5 minutes for residents, 5 minutes for commercial. Disclaim that it's based on a
mhm.
hypothetical report.
Yeah.
Can I make one more
Yeah, go ahead.
comment?
Sure.
And I appreciate, I've been in that role where I've done something and then basically at a boardroom had to cut to shreds. It ain't easy. So I feel for you, okay? But, so, I'm saying this from my own experience. I wrote my letter. I thought it covered all the bases I needed to. I didn't have that visual reference. But then I did, and I thought about it at the time, but I did not run it through chat to say, my buddy, to say, look, how would you word this? And when I read it, as I said, it did miss some important points, so a couple of punchlines in there. But in terms of the average Joe or Jill that would read this thing, the chat version talked to them. Mine talked over them. And so going back to this, I don't know if there's a free version where you can feed that into a chat or to an AI to say, give me an AI version of this. This is visual, so it's different. It's not written like my stuff. You guys would know more, but it would be interesting to just see. It would be almost like handing it to somebody who does media all the time, and you might say, look, you missed a lot of the points in here. Sorry, but throw it away.
Yeah, you can't trust it.
No,
like
but
that yet. You could have it. It could transcript the video and help him summarize and split it between, like, take everything you said, split it into 5 minutes transcript or 5-minute bullet points for you to talk here, and 5 minutes for you to talk there, with the analogies that you're saying, and whatever it comes back, you edit it to make sure that it's got the
But
punchlines. Right?
wouldn't the software be able to, because it's spoken,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be able to read that? I mean, it wouldn't be able to read the slides into it, but
Yeah, it could, but it'd be less work for Mike to just record 2 5-minute videos.
okay.
Than having to because
Yeah, to split the two.
So just industry term, AI slop is what it's called now.
Yes.
So it can make you a 5-minute video, and if 20 seconds of it are off, well, you got to redo the whole video. So it's that slop so it's better for
Gotcha.
it to help summarize for Mike, split it up. But
Gotcha.
anyways.
All right, so you think, we need a video to explain to the community why this is good for them,
The residents,
the
yeah.
residents. And we need a separate video that just explains the monetary value of this.
Upside, yeah.
We don't have to,
But I think you're doing something else that's important here, right? The monetary side, but you're also dissecting that report and why
Yeah, for
it's,
them.
yeah, right, for the commercial.
Because that's a 70-page report or something.
Yeah.
big.
90.
I think it's 90,
yes.
yeah, 90.
okay. All right, this is easier.
I am summarizing a 90-page report for you,
Yeah.
and this is my takeaway.
Yeah, basically,
Based on the models that are in there, this is,
More, and
this is not Mike's
okay, when we get off the
model.
tape, I'll tell you what how I got to this point, but.
Brian,
But that's good feedback, I'll work it.
If
I'll be
Mike-
sitting around my house for another month, so I can do it again.
If Mike puts the effort in to do this, what is the process for us to share that outside of this room?
I just need to run it by the planning director and the town manager so that they have advance notice that it's there. Like I said, Jamie watched it, he didn't see anything problematic
Okay.
in it, nothing that he pointed out. It's really just Jim Manny needs to have advance notice that this is there and that it's going out.
So if it's not gonna be wasted
Public.
effort if he puts
No.
his time into it. Okay,
No.
that's good.
Same process. He gives
not-
you the video, you show it to the people
Yep.
who need to see it, and then it
Yep.
can go live.
I mean, not unless he's making, a lot of substantive changes to it, and then based on this discussion, I don't see.
You're
that.
reducing
Right.
actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Right.
might come
Yeah.
out to 3-minute videos, honestly. It might
Yeah.
be easier for you to make it more
So we'll
succinct.
see.
Okay.
But I would like to get their feedback before I talk to you guys about it, so we can do that by sending it to 3 people at a time, kind of a thing, or what do you suggest?
So what we can do is, we can send it out, they can comment to me.
us.
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
Right,
You
right,
guys.
Mike
Any comments we have
can
to
send
go
it
back
out.
to Brian.
All the comments have to come back to me.
right.
Yeah.
I can talk to Mike, I can talk to the planning director, and we can make adjustments.
Okay.
I would say though, my comments are done. I mean, I think
Good.
if you take what you did and just boil it down a little bit more for 2 audiences, then I'm good with it.
All right.
You don't pepper in anything more than what you.
Yeah, I definitely was trying to lead the witness here, no question about that.
I don't look like a salesman.
Yeah, there you go.
It's hard,
That's
it's hard,
tough
to
to
do.
do,
It's hard,
but
yeah,
anyway.
we're all salesmen.
Okay. let's-
So, but nice work with that. I thought
Yeah, nice work.
Thank you.
Yep.
And honestly, I think it done right, I think it should lead the way from, I don't know what these other board and committees talk about, man, but if there was a 5-minute boiled down version of some sort of opinion or direction, I'd be reading it. I'd be consuming it.
Consuming it, yeah.
Mhm.
So I think like Mike, you could be leading the way to like the better way for the committees to communicate, you know?
Okay,
So I
good.
think it's
To the
really-
public.
Thank
yeah.
you, everybody. This is good. It's good. Great, so Main Street USA, I'm sorry, Main Street, Rhode Island, I should say. Who went to the meeting? You did.
Yeah.
And Tom
I think
did, that's right.
Kurt was there too. I think
Yes.
Jerry,
Yeah,
you were
Kurt.
there.
I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
I got the email,
was
it
there.
was in my junk.
Ken was there.
Ken was
Yeah,
there.
Ken was there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about a community
Susan,
theater?
Susan was
Yeah,
there.
Susan.
yeah,
I was there.
yeah.
I was
Yeah,
there.
I had the list, I just was kind
Yeah.
of curious. So, out of that, there is a thing called a learning cohort. You need to put together I think Susan has a couple people lined up. She wants somebody from the EDC that's gonna get educated on Main Street, Rhode Island. And,
Ken sounded like he was interested. Jay from town council said he was interested.
Yeah.
I think she said she wanted 3 people at minimum,
yeah,
right? But Ken was interested because of like his association with Main Street. And Ken had said that verbally. I
Yes, he
won't
did.
speak for him on his behalf, but he did mention that.
uh-huh.
And then, yeah, I know Jay, he said, time permitting, I don't know how much time he has left, but he was interested. She needed a couple people, and Brian, if you recall any of this, please, jump in. If you don't, that's fine.
I mean, I think she was looking for 3 or 4 people. I'm not sure that there is a limit on the number of people that can participate.
Right.
I did since they did actually push out, Grossmart did push out an application
Yeah.
to be part of this initial cohort. I did talk to Jamie. He said that he is definitely interested. He was there. Council members were there. So it's going to get a positive recommendation from the planning department to pursue it. And his only caveat was that the town council also has to commit to providing the resources necessary to follow through, because a lot of the training meetings and whatnot are on Saturdays, which means staff is gonna have to be at meetings on Saturdays. And, you know, that, they're gonna have to be okay with that. So the application will, the decision to apply will have to be made by town council. And staff will be formally following through on the application. We would also, you know, invite EDC members and whatnot to participate. But they're very adamant about, you know, the people who show up can't be there at one class and absent the other. You have to commit to going all the way through the process.
Wait, I thought she was saying a different thing than that. I thought she had said the cohort could be 6 people, and as long as one person from the cohort attends each meeting, it's okay if it's a different person who then reports back to the 6 people.
Okay.
That's the way I heard it.
That's all.
I think you're right.
I do too.
I may be wrong.
Okay, so,
That makes it a little.
so next step would be to put together something to talk to Jay about putting something together for the town council to.
Well, I think the,
Go ahead.
I think that Jamie and Jim Manny are gonna have to talk about putting it on an agenda. I'm sure Jay Wedgemont, Councilmember Wedgemont, is aware that they pushed that out, so it should be going on an agenda, hopefully this month. I'll have to track it down and I'll keep you guys advised.
Okay, great, super. Anybody wanna, or you think maybe Ken might wanna do this?
Ken, maybe, Susan's obviously been the head of all this.
Yeah.
Ken said he was interested in giving Ken's position on, you know, past in the village association, involved in Main Street. I think he's a good candidate for it.
So I think, I know Ken has in the past been actively involved with the Merchants
Village,
Association.
village people.
I think they will probably want a current member of the Village Association as part of it. We will definitely want a member of the EDC as part of it, and we'll have to see how quickly our allotment fills up.
Yeah, so we'll
Okay.
see. Well, it needs to be voted on by the town in order for us to gather a team, right?
To get
So
the resources.
the decision
The
to apply
resource.
Yeah.
for the program,
Oh, it should
and
be
it
applied.
also has to come with a commitment of following through with it from a
Alright.
resource standpoint.
All right, so what would we have to provide at that meeting?
I think it's a
An
vote.
explanation of what this is
No,
all about? and-
I think if it gets on the town council agenda that, you know, a couple people showing up to support the decision to move forward with the application and participate in the program.
Yeah, so, I mean, either Ken or Susan, before the vote, saying a, you know, paragraphs worth of words.
Okay,
Probably would be good.
Terrific.
And
Yeah.
it would make it go to a vote.
Yeah.
easy.
Okay, so then,
All right, great.
I think having Susan has spearheaded it, so having her lead that, whether her or Ken speak, if Ken's gonna be on it, it probably makes sense for him to speak to it.
Yeah, okay,
So I'll put that in your court, Mike.
good. All right, super. Okay. Updates on, staff updates and planning department activities.
So, let me,
No new business then?
Oh, is there any new business?
Nope.
let me just, pull up the agenda really quick here. And run through the development stuff because there are a couple of things I wanted to mention. So the commercial development projects, the Safe Harbor Silver Spring Marina update was approved. The 2 new apartment buildings in South County Commons, the final plan is approved, and I think it's been recorded.
Excellent.
Liberty Lane, I think I mentioned this before, they applied for a change to their plan to add half an acre of asphalt parking area behind the buildings. I assume somebody is looking for laydown space or something to go with those buildings. We are talking to them about stormwater concerns, but I think the last thing I read from the engineers was that their initial calculations would cover the addition of this impervious space. 82 Main Street, which is a proposal for mixed-use development. It's the house that was demoed, it's now a vacant lot. It's a builder, gonna be on the first floor, and 2 or 3 apartments up top. It is a drop-dead, beautiful architectural design that they've done with the building. So hopefully it is positively received from the planning board. The lofts at Fairgrounds, they started the master plan hearing in October. It will be continued at the November meeting on November 25th.
Is that the one that's?
That's the 6 apartment buildings on the old Schneider Electric.
Yes.
parking lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Lots going on over that way between
Yeah.
Liberty Lane and Post and Beam and
Yep.
Fairgrounds there.
Yep. And then the last one is, we have a retail marijuana proposal for the old Clark Farm
Where's that? In downtown?
Wakefield?
downtown.
Downtown,
Hill
okay.
area, right?
Yeah, right behind the Midas.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Where the new bank's
Oh,
going.
it's the old Clark Farms.
Yeah, I was thinking of the one out.
Yeah, so, I
Route
mean,
one.
they've got a pretty nice design. The issue, I think, that always the big issue for discussion with these places is traffic
Security.
and ingress and egress.
Mhm.
Although, what we hear from all of the retailers on this is that most of their customers place their orders online, and it's drive in, pick up, drive out. Nobody is hanging out at the cannabis shop for a half an hour
Mhm.
picking out their
Well,
products.
it's like an alcohol place. People don't go to the liquor store to drink. They go to take their.
Well, unless there's a wine tasting there or something, right?
Yeah, you're right, yeah, retail there
My,
is a-
my dad said that was the best business in the world, the
Yeah.
liquor store.
Yeah.
He goes, the markup is tremendous, and there was a disabled war vet that had the one in our town, too. He was in a wheelchair, and he had a tag on each bottle, and he put it on a spindle when you bought it. And when the distributor came in, he'd say, I need 4 of those, 2 of these, 3 of those, and they take the stuff away, and they go drink it somewhere else, you got no problems. He thought it was the best.
And all of this is still dependent on them getting one of the state licenses.
There's gonna be
that-
9 new ones.
There are, well, I think there are 7 licenses targeted to Washington County.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's like getting one of those.
So they're gonna have to get one of those. I would assume that Wakefield would be one of the areas they would want to target, because remember, the state is getting a big chunk of tax money
Mm-hmm.
out of these sales, and,
Got the school right up the road.
yep, and you got a, pretty good sized population in the downtown Wakefield area too, so.
And does the local community get a cut, too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Compared
Small-
to-
small amount.
Small compared to what the state gets,
In
yes.
2 or
Massachusetts,
3%.
they get 3%, and you can add auxiliary 3% if you, make a case for it too. but-
Mhm.
I think it's 3%, if I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, my position is, if we don't sell it legally, it's gonna be sold illegally.
Of course,
So
yeah.
I'd rather take the tax income from it and have it through a safe harbor.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how I see it.
Or they go the town over, get it legally there,
Exeter.
and
They'll
come
go to
back.
the next town, and
So-
so
Yeah.
they get the revenue.
So
All right,
and it's, I
cool.
see it in the same light as liquor, like, I wouldn't say no to a liquor store.
Yeah.
Maybe some people would, but.
So anything on the Main Street,
Yeah, the 30 unit,
30 units, the big
like
building
that big
there?
mansion up the road.
Oh,
By the Elks Club, yeah.
yeah, they
Okay,
have
yes.
been, kicking that can down the road month after month after month.
So we heard.
I think they were there in October. No, that was a different site, sorry.
This one is,
Whenever they're ready to go forward,
Yeah.
Because they've already got an approval, right, for,
right, they had an approval, it was in court for a while, and it got an approval, and it came back. And now they wanna change the layout to the site. So they are asking for a change to their approved plan. We asked them to provide a bunch of additional information. And, you know, every couple of months when their hearing comes up again, we talk to them and they say, well, we still don't have the information that we said we were gonna get for you. So I'm not sure where that's headed.
I've got a couple of comments as usual. One, I've been complaining for a year and a half. It seems to have taken a long time to get the EMT station going.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's gone, it's about to open, and I've got to say, it's just spectacular. The design,
Yeah.
the execution of it's just been terrific.
Haven't been out there.
Oh, yeah, I think it's just great.
Yeah, it's a really nice design. that
It
they
really
went
is.
for.
Who did it? You guys?
We didn't do it, no, we hired
Oh,
architects for
I
it.
have to tell you, I didn't know what to expect. It could have just been a box with some roll-up doors, but it's really nice. I want to say that. So,
Yeah, no, they,
got an
they,
A+ for that.
they copied some public buildings from out on Cape Cod.
Okay.
That were done with, you know, really high design
Yeah.
standards on them.
It's really nice.
And it came out really nice.
Hey, it's in a
And-
rural area too, it can't,
Yeah.
it can't be a,
And they've
Yeah.
started site prep work for
Box.
the high school, if you
Yeah,
haven't been
right.
over there,
Okay.
so.
Just, okay, the other point I wanted to make, and I brought this up before, it's the water issue. And, you know, I know we have the vendor, and I know you guys basically go to, what is it, Viola, something like that?
yeah.
Veolia does the town water, but there are also other private water suppliers in town.
But, I mean, I think there's a little bit of, hey, I'm asking the guy who sells water, can he provide me with water? There's a vested interest in them saying, yeah, we can do it. And then, fast forward, it's 4 years later, we've got more use points on a system that's already pretty badly strained. And so I just feel like nobody's biting the bullet to really look at this thing realistically. And I'm all for development. I'm not going to, I'm not trying to conclude here, we should stop development, not at all. But along with development, we need the infrastructure. I see that, you know, there's some pretty good efforts to do that with the 3 properties, the school. But I'm just saying, as a general statement, I think by going to Viola and just saying, can you provide the water, when already they're saying it's very marginal, there's a problem.
Well, what question are you asking, Tom? Are you asking about the capacity of the infrastructure to supply the water? Or
Yes.
the availability of the resource
No,
in the first place?
so I'm worried that we're going to approve these great projects, and fast forward 5 years from now, we already have a situation where realistically, it's hard to enforce this, you know, whether somebody's watering their lawn. And so we're already strained to the point of restricting water use, and it started just the hottest days of summer. This summer was a very hot one, it expanded, and so I'm concerned there's just not enough water for
So you're
the
talking about the
anticipated
cons-
development.
The constraints of the resource.
Correct.
Not the distribution system.
Well, I don't know the details. It might also be the distribution system needs to be upgraded too. I'm just saying when somebody turns their tap on, they want to have water.
Yeah.
And we're getting to the point where, the capacity of the system, both in terms of collecting the water and distributing it, seem to be stretched pretty thin without these hundreds of additional
So,
units coming
5 to
along.
7.
Let me answer both of those questions.
Okay.
Whenever a development project comes through, one of the requirements is they have to provide us with what we call a will serve letter
Right.
from the water utility, which is
I
a
understand.
statement saying, we have the water and we have the capacity in the system to supply the demand for this development. As an example, I believe it was Kent County Water over by URI that owns that well field over there. We had a development proposed for the intersection of Old North Road and Stony Fort. It was originally proposed with public water. The water supply company wrote back and said, we don't have enough capacity in the lines going all the way down to Stony Fort Road. So if you want public water, you're gonna have to rebuild the lines, get bigger service lines almost all the way back to Route 138.
Whoa, baby.
Yeah.
Which forced
Or
the developer
do
to
wells.
relook at his site and put in wells to serve the system.
Yeah, they saw the perk
On the
test.
resource side, is there enough water in the ground? Yes, the water suppliers have a vested interest in getting more hookups and selling more water, but they also have a vested interest in making sure they have water that they can continue
Supply.
to sell to all of their customers.
I mean, the devil's always in the details, but they have certain assumptions about how much each unit will use. And, they're pretty restrictive on things like lawn watering. And so I think they could say 5 years from now, these were our assumptions, that they'd only be using, 200 gallons a day, and it looks like they're using 400 gallons. It's an enforcement problem for you guys. So, we're not gonna solve it here. I just wanna express my concern that that's a critical resource, because we've got cases where people are almost out of water in certain locations, not massive numbers. And, we're gonna add two things. Summers are getting hotter, that's a fact, and also we're adding use points. So that's,
Yeah, it
That's-
doesn't add up.
yeah, so look, it's not for us to do that, we're not utilities.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say, that's a concern, a long-term concern I have. And I don't know the details, but if I were in charge, I'd be more rigorous about nailing their feet to the ground as far as, okay, you say you can supply, but how many gallons, and, what are the assumptions? Are these realistic assumptions? But okay, I'll rest my case there. I just wanted to make that comment.
But what's the town council
No.
decided to, are they not talking to Narragansett or other areas and
They're
just trying to
stretched, too.
pool everything together to see?
From what I understand, Narragansett's got the same problem with
Yeah.
water.
We've been under the same restrictions that South Kingstown has been under.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in
Yeah.
Narragansett.
I'm in there.
Oh, okay, right, so, yeah.
There's no way for the towns to push back on the water supplier and say, build more wells, do something.
Then they're gonna cry cost
Yeah,
right
I
away.
mean, yeah, it's up to the water companies, they're private companies, to, manage the resource. If there are concerns about our capacity to continue to provide new users to the existing resource, I think it would be up to the town council, if they're not satisfied with the responses from the water suppliers themselves, to hire a third-party professional to provide estimates on the ability of the aquifers to supply continued growth in the area.
Okay, because that's the question I'm hearing sort of between the lines of what like Tom's talking about. Is like at what point do we then recommend to town council we need to look at our water supply and make sure that it's secure enough for the growth that we want to see in the town?
I mean, I have not heard anything from any of the water suppliers saying that they are concerned about the limits of the resource. I mean, we had a very,
But if we're thinking further ahead than they are, could we be concerned
Yeah.
on their behalf?
And you're not gonna get them saying that,
Yeah.
because then you turn around and go, well, if you're concerned, dig another well. And they look at it like, crap, that's gonna cost me 200 grand. That's, so, you know, so the devil is in the details, and it gets down to, I don't know what the assumptions are in terms of gallons per day or gallons per week, or whatever it is. Maybe they're unrealistic. And there's also the enforcement problem, because, you know, when you have the alternate days of ability to use water for outdoor purposes, I read statistics. I think they said that the average house should be something like 200 gallons a day. They found some that are 1,400 gallons a day, so they're using way more than they're supposed to. And, you know, you don't want the police don't want to go in there and start policing things like that. So it's complicated. I just wanted to say that, you know, it'd be foolish to proceed with development without making sure we've got reasonably minimal infrastructure to support it. But, you know, that's all.
I haven't
Do you have
washed my
Viola?
car in 2 years.
Do you have Viola water?
No, I have a well.
You have a well?
Yeah, which has gone, I mean, my wife waters so much,
Yeah.
you know, but it's almost gone dry twice.
Uh-huh.
Where, yeah, we've got, you know, so, and I actually fracked the damn thing to get increased flow.
Yeah, put restrictions on your wife.
and part of the issue is we have a lot of
Easier
water
said.
going through the system to water lawns. I mean,
Yeah,
and
you're right.
Yeah.
using up potable water to water lawns
Yeah.
is
Not great.
kind of a
Right.
waste.
And it
The
takes a lot of,
lawns- The lawns themselves are technically an invasive species.
Yep.
right.
Most turf grasses are not native to the area and not
It's one of Rhode
designed
Island's number one
to deal with
exports.
our environment, so.
Yeah,
No,
but the
that-
seeds come from Oregon. URI two is almost all Oregon seed.
Mhm.
Yeah, those fragmites, they drink it all up. Damn fragmites.
Right.
Japanese knotweed.
My son-in-law's a landscaper. He puts a $25,000 lawn is nothing. You know, it's
Really?
like a
Yeah.
tiny patch.
Yep.
I mean,
Love their grass.
turf?
Yeah.
Turf?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mandatory
that's
rock
expensive.
lawns.
Yeah, it's very expensive. Yeah, you know,
We could be like Tucson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
That's
just
it,
gonna say,
right.
they just did that out there,
Yep.
made people rip up all their grass.
well, I'm not using mulch anymore. I got stone around the whole house.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Any other?
Yeah,
topics to cover?
any other topics? Motion to adjourn?
I'll motion.
Josh,
Excellent.
Randy, all those in favor?